All right, hello out there, Facebook world, Twitter, and YouTube. I'm live today. I got Victoria Eloise in the house, and we're going to be talking about PPE and the fact that we still have a shortage of PPE here in Connecticut. Yet, lots and lots of money has been flying around for all these medical supplies and things like PPE. So let me bring Victoria on. I'm Jay Cherry. You can find me at jcherrypresents.com where you can make a donation and support the work that we do here. We're planning on doing lots more shows as we are redesigning our studio, and hopefully we will be able to broadcast and we won't be banned from that because all kinds of strange things are happening on the internet these days. All right, let me bring Victoria on. Hey lady, how are you?
Hello.
So you've been a busy woman, as usual, doing all this research and pulling up information that isn't talked about in the media, which is very unfortunate because, yeah, tell me, what's going on with the PPE?
You know, when you sent me, because you sent me that article about nursing homes having to pay for their PPE and how there was an understanding that the state would only supply PPE until August, and so, you know, and you sent me articles before, and other people have as well, and those tips or those suggestions, so valuable. So I dove in and started to, the way that I found it was, I mean, you really have to dig on ct.gov, the state's website.
ct.gov, guys out there, these are all public websites, okay?
Beyond. Yes.
Yeah, so what did you find at ct.gov? Do tell.
So I went into the Department of Economic and Community Development.
Oh,
hugely
yeah.
corrupt.
Oh, wait, 1 second on that. David
Yeah.
Lehman. He was the CEO. It was a Goldman and Sachs, one of the big banks that was responsible for the 2008 crash. Get this! He's apparently working for no salary, right? So he says, doing us Connecticut citizens a huge favor by donating his billionaire time and expertise. Just had to say that. Sorry, go ahead.
You know, and just because they say it doesn't mean that's the case. Who knows if he's being paid or not?
And, well, he's being paid.
And we asked about everything else. So, and so I went into, now I had a little bit of philandering experience with the Department of DECD prior, and I posted about angel investors and how they get a 25% discount on tax rates, and the list of 69 businesses, which I thought was bizarre, the fact that it was 69. Anyways, lot of homes on that list, and a lot of private venture accounts. So I knew that there was something sketchy going on. Well, all of the social service programs are phenomenally corrupt, hugely, because social services, you know, the money comes in and nobody watches it. Nobody, you know, and they're all stealing it. So they put out, the DECD put out a list, a downloadable list on their webpage, and I put the link in my post, and it was the list of PPE vendors, which are all on open checkbooks. So this downloadable Excel file with 203 vendors, you can see all of them also on open checkbook. And there was a couple so I expected to find some not so honest vendors. And so I just started going through the whole list, and I made it through the G's, which, you know, so I probably got through about 40 of them, and I will keep going with the list, but yeah, they are not.
Yeah. So, shall I pull up some of the slides that you have put together
please,
for us?
Let
me pull this up. Let me make sure I get the right. There we go. Let me get this even a little better here for you guys. Hold on a second. I think I just jumped in too far. Wait, let me get to the first slide. I'm doing it. Okay, so we're starting off here with not all PPE from Connecticut. Is that the first slide we want to be on?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Perfect. So here
And I found a couple articles related to this PPE problem, but I picked this one because so the PPE people are getting is often crap. And there was another article recently, actually the one you sent me. There was a woman who talked about the fact that they couldn't use it in hospital care, but they found other ways to use it. And I think that's absolutely unbelievable that not only is there a PPE shortage, the materials are shit. And I think probably because these vendors that these places call, they're not medical supply vendors. So they're sending whatever they can find on, they'll get an order, find whatever they can on some obscure website and send them crap. And so, so that's terrible. The fact that it's not medical grade.
So unbelievable how they say that the problem is that most of these critical PPE stock, more than $91 million worth has been ordered, but like it's not delivered. It's not the stuff that we. Wow.
Yes, and another interesting thing. So the article on the site states still waiting on 91 million in COVID-19. If you go to Open Checkbook and you look at the COVID-19 FEMA vendors, because that's where all these, you go into Open Checkbook and you type in the header COVID-19 FEMA, and it'll pop right up. And all the vendors that are also on the DECD list are right in Open Checkbook. And the total of all of the COVID-19 FEMA vendors, the total, if you add up the numbers, 91 million. So this article is talking about the 91 missing millions that these fake vendors have. And it's ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. It's just like, it is ridiculous. And I can't believe that they get away with this kind of stuff. This is just, and there it is, guys. I mean, these are articles that are right here, right on the Connecticut News website. And what is this other article that is over here? Where is this particular one? Gregory Hadley. This was posted on July 1st. These are news article. Oh, Connecticut Mirror. There it is. Duh. So, there you go.
Yes.
There you go.
Next picture.
Next picture. Oh, what do we got here? Enough scandal to go around. Oh, do tell, do tell.
Now, I thought it was there's a reason I pick these articles, but these are 15 years old, these articles. One of these, so the one on the left, this is back when the Hartford Courant wasn't biased, when they were writing truth, So enough scandal to go around in Connecticut. Connecticut corruption keeps feds very busy. Written in 2005.
Wow.
Yes. Imagine, I mean, it's gotten so much worse. there's no way the feds don't know about what's going on in Connecticut, but Connecticut is like the great-great-grandfather of the U.S. So they, if they are going to go after Connecticut, I assume if they're going to go after them at all, they got to have every single I and T crossed, and if they come at all, there's some states that they just don't F with.
Well, we are in the belly of the beast, Connecticut. This is the heart of the belly of the beast. When we look at Lamont's team that we know of that are doing the whole COVID reopening program, these are heavy-hitting billionaire people. These are like, no joke, David Lehman, who crashed our economy, as now here in handling our economic and community development, is like insane. I'm like, okay, when he did that, and nobody, like, nary a word about it. Yeah, it was in the paper, but nobody seemed to care. And it's like, when are people going to start to care about these things, about this corruption?
This stuff isn't on regular news channels. So, and people get their news from NBC Connecticut and, or, CNN and Fox. So they don't, like, where we know this is going on, and we know who these slimy people are that sneak their way in and, get government assistance to philander. Most people don't know about that, because mainstream doesn't cover it. So,
yeah,
lovely. Yeah. And then the article on the right was also, this one was just written March 4th, 2020.
Yeah.
The auditors fault DECD's handling of loans and grants. So, the people who are auditing, if they find something big, they release little
unidentified companies, though. They don't even list who these people are.
No, of course not. Of course not, because they're all part of it. So they're not going to write their own names in there, but
it's not even funny. I can't even believe I'm laughing. I apologize.
No, please. It's so, you know what I mean? It's just so a lot. Yes. Next picture.
Oh, man. Our small business reopening resource guide. Oh, do tell.
So this is one of those areas there. If you really want to find the goods, like when I posted recently about the vital statistics office in Connecticut about the number of people passed away and the number of COVID, those are like you gotta really search for this stuff. It's not easy to find. So this is the page, and I'll put the link. Anybody can go in and download the list of vendors. This is the list for, if you see underneath that picture, it says download the suppliers list, and additional personal protective equipment and supplies. So I downloaded the suppliers list, and the next picture will show what I found. But before you go, this is not the first. When I talked about angel investors, like the Department of Economic and Community Development is so phenomenally corrupt, and they are just listing like lies, entities that are lies, and this is a recurring thing. So, yes. Next picture.
Oops, I had something happen here. It just went my feet. The feet. It went a little bit bonkers here. Bear with me as I figure out what is going. Uh-oh, did I get cut off? Are we still going? I think we are. Okay, here we go. Sorry about what is going on. It just got weird. Okay, it's back. Sorry about that, guys. I thought maybe we got cut off. It looks like the feed is still going. No, error making local recordings. Okay, that's okay. We're still live, though. All right, the system is, the show is in hard recording, so it interrupted everything. So we are on the next slide that we're looking at. Let me get back over here. Sorry, I lost that on you guys. Okay, so here we go, and we're going to move over to the next slide.
Yes.
Okay, and the role of domestic shell companies in financial crime and money laundering. Oh.
Yes.
Get this?
So before we get to the list, I'm always talking about shell companies and what that means. What is a shell company? What does it do? What does it not do? And so I found this little article about, that really summed up the role of shell companies. So I'm just going to read this comment. The term shell company generally refers to limited liability LLCs and other business entities with no visible significant assets or ongoing business activities. Shell companies are formed, they're not all illegal. They are formed for illicit and legitimate purposes. They have no mailing address, no front door. A lot of times, they're an attachment. They belong to a parent, and they employ no one. They have no independent economic value. Shell companies can be publicly traded or privately held. So, I'm always talking about stock and how this shell belongs to this parent. And because they're all attached, they can trade stock. Even if.
So wait a minute. These shell companies, they don't have to have any address. They don't have to abide by certain rules, and then they just trade amongst each other.
They're supposed, but all they need is a broker or a lawyer to sign off on their paperwork, and we know that's not a problem in Connecticut. They'll sign off on anyone, and yes. So I really recommend, I also put the link, but the history of shell companies, maybe I'm more interested in it than someone else might be, but it's super interesting. And when you read this information, it really makes a sense. Like, you can connect it to what's going on now. So, next picture.
Wow. There's been, just to bring it back a little bit to stuff also going on nationally. There's been a lot of talk about, shell companies at the national level as well. Just coming up, I just keep hearing the word now that that I met you and we started talking about these things. And honestly, I had no idea. I never even really thought about a shell company or what that is or what that means and how that's used. Just not something that I think a lot of average citizens are really thinking about.
Of course not.
So I'm so glad that you have taken an interest in this, because I wouldn't have known. I think a lot of people would feel like what I'm saying with these shell companies and what they can pull off had you not dived in and did this research and pulled this up. And guys, you can go and look this up yourselves. Victoria's pulling this all from open source information that we all can have access to. So if you aren't already, you can follow Victoria Eloise. She's open to making new friends with people, especially thinking kinds of people. No trolls invited, please. We'll pass on you. But it's just really fascinating. So you can go and you can follow her, and she does a lot. We're only touching like the surface of a lot of the research that she's doing, which is pretty fascinating information. Oh boy, so what do you got over here? Let me pull this up for these guys to see as well. Wow, I see lots going on. What is this?
And just a reminder, so of course I had to add text boxes to fill in the information. But again, you can go right to the link I posted for the Department of Economic and Community Development and download the list yourself if you were interested in that, and you'll be able to see you'll be able to see the whole contact name, the whole phone number, all that. But I had to, yes. So let's talk about this list. So I'll just start at the top. So at the top you see Mammoth Global Partners.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will just read this. They're kind of small, so in case your audience can't necessarily see them, I'll just read it. Mammoth Global Partners, Inc. provides, so most of these quotes are right off these people's websites. I thought it was important to not change anything that was said. These are direct quotes off these people's websites. So Mammoth Global Partners provides our clients an integrated marketing, public affairs, media operations, or strategic communication solution for their business. No PPE. So And as we go through this list, there was a lot of media and marketing companies because
media and marketing companies that are producing PPE for hospitals.
No PPE. Yeah.
But they've never ever done anything in the medical industry. That's not what they do. They're media companies who have been paid to produce.
They would rather
PPE.
make commercials and make great websites than provide poor citizens or not necessarily poor hospitals, nursing homes, all that. They would rather make up a website that says they do that.
This is insane. This is insane. I mean, just a couple weeks ago when I shared that article with you, and then they're talking about how they don't have the PPE for the nursing homes, and the nursing homes should pay for them themselves. You know, Annie Lamont, she doesn't like nursing homes. And then her buddy there, Ezekiel Emanuel, he thinks people after 75, well, you know, we ain't going to waste our time or energy on your butt. You're too old, so goodbye to you. That's his idea. I didn't say that. Ezekiel Emanuel did. And then Annie Huntress Lamont said, too many people in nursing homes, you know, we got to just and this was in March in 2019 that she said this.
You know, and these people are so connected. And I'll just say this quickly, but I posted a few days ago about Lamont's new Supreme Court.
Oh.
And Christine Keller, and how her husband was Speaker of the House, and her son, Andrew Ritter. He's going to be Speaker of the House in everybody thinks he's going to be Speaker. He's front runner.
Well, we know actually. He's Matt Ritter. He's
Matt Ritter. Excuse me.
I know his name well. Usually with names it takes me a minute, but with Matt Ritter, I know Matt Ritter very well from all of the activism and the work that we've done in the medical freedom movement. His baby is mandatory vaccination for everybody, really, but that's one of his babies. He's a big pharma guy. Partner at Shipman and Goodman, totally connected, so corrupted. My head spins. I don't even know what to do, Connecticut.
And it's so interesting. It's not interesting, not surprising necessarily, but their family, the Ritters, they've over the last 6 months to a year have gotten heavily involved in vaccine development.
Yeah.
So does nobody think, oh, he's trying to get rid of, or he's trying to change vaccine laws, and he's just invested tons of money in vaccines? Like, is that not a problem for anyone?
Apparently not. You know, we've been screaming about these kinds of things for years, and you know something else? When you try and interact with him as the public, he is quite rude. He acts like he's an aristocrat. Like he is like, wait a minute, this is the state of Connecticut, the Constitution state. Last I checked, we were, a representational democracy here, and you are supposed to be the voice of the people. And he acts like he's a king. And then I don't understand how in the heck that Harvard voted him in. Like, what? How did Harvard vote in Matt Ritter? He's not your friend, Harvard. Are you doing any better under his leadership or his dad's? Because this is a well-connected family. We're probably getting totally off track here, but So this first group, media company. All right, let me pull back up this slide here. So we're talking about these companies that are supposedly making PPE, but they're media companies. If you just tuned in. So the second group. Lovely 2 question marks there. Do you see that? Oh, wait, what? What does that mean? What does this mean? What does this mean?
So then I started researching Lawrence Lingland, since there was no name of the company. So Lawrence Lingland Gao, he's the contact, as you can see that right there. He owns Rainbow Capital Group, which is a private equity investment firm.
Did we talk about them before? Did we talk about the Rainbow Capital Group before? That name seems familiar. No? Maybe not.
I think so.
Okay. Sorry about that. Go ahead. Let me pull that slide back up. Go ahead.
So, there is no PPE anything here. He owns a private capital firm. So when they say PPE, they mean the PPE money going into this man's private corporation.
So the PPE money, because
Yeah.
we have a shortage of PPE in Connecticut, and this is what they're doing, right? In
This-
broad daylight, Connecticut, right there in front of your face, like laughing at you almost, laughing at us. What are
Yeah.
we going to do? We need to start to hold them accountable. We have to. It's this is insane. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. So the next company, 18 International, it was a textile clothing company in New York City, but it's no longer operational. So who knows where that money went, because it's closed permanently. So
Wow.
next company. Oh, this is great. Catherine Barlow, good old Jack Rubenstein CTLC. This is another company of hers. She just registered this one out of her house. 3AI LLC is it's a new, there's 3AI investments, 3AI tech. It is a new they use artificial intelligence to expand. I'll just read this because it's unbelievable. This is off their website. With 3AI, we are guiding and accelerating into existence a new branch of engineering centered on effectively and ethically managing. I don't think ethically is appropriate there, but ethically managing the impact of artificial intelligence on humanity through better design and management of technology. In Connecticut, it is a shell. It is a shell entity, which means Catherine Barlow, Jack Rubenstein, CT, she registered 3AI out of her home as a shell. So now that company is registered out of her home, she can invest in it. And the return is equity on her home.
What? So. Okay. So we're paying for her house.
Oh, yeah.
That is such I feel like, there's like a magician's trick here. You know what I mean? It's like somebody, like that old kind of cliche scene in a film, where they got the guy with the shells and he's messing it around,
Yeah.
and you're like, whoop, 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 where'd it go? Wow.
And I want to reiterate, it's not illegal to have, of course not. People have businesses out of their homes, and there's all sorts of reasons why someone would have an LLC.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we have our nonprofit is out of our home. Here's my office right here in studio. So.
But you're also not getting millions.
Oh, no, not at all.
And, she has 4 running out of her house, and her husband and her kids, like, they have more, so this is, anyways. So, okay, 3M company, lot of stuff. So we talked about the Panama Papers and the Paradise Papers. We'll go into it a little more in depth at the end here. But so I went on to the ICI, International Consortium of Investigative Journalists website, and they have a database of millions of these leaked files. The Bahama leaks, the offshore leaks, the Panama Paradise Papers, quite a few.
So anybody can just go to this website and start to investigate some of this stuff. That's really huge. And people out there that you're watching and you're outraged and you like to research and you want to dive in and you want to write or you want to come on live with me and talk about what you found. This is the type of thing that you can do yourself to become active in exposing wow, that's a great resource, and exposing all this corruption that's going on right in our state, because if we don't start doing something, we're gonna be living under the dictatorship of technocrats. And if you don't know that word, I highly suggest that you go look that up and start to educate yourself on that. Wow. Oh.
And I put the link also towards the end for the database. So I literally went into the database and typed in every single company to see if there was a hit on if these companies were registered, these illicit shells had gotten in trouble with any of those papers. And so many shell subsidiaries, including 3M in Connecticut, were named in the ICIJ Panama Papers and the Paradise Papers. Beyond. 3M Company is a technology company which manufactures industrial, safety, and consumer products. 3M Co., I want to be clear, 3M Co. is in the distribution of, their website set, some of these on here they do have PayPal accounts connected, and you can order. So not all of them have no involvement in PPE, but so the 3M registered in Connecticut is a Shell subsidiary. And why it was registered in Delaware, because if you see Delaware on any of the Concord businesses, it's a Shell. Because why the heck else would it need to be registered in Delaware? Why can't you just register it in Connecticut? Because some form of it is dark, and so they just register that Shell. Next company. A&H Worldwide doesn't exist at that name. Very crafty with some... they probably think it's crafty, but once you figure it out, it's just like not that complicated. But so as we've talked about before, these philanderers and public officials, they will adjust the name somewhat, even though, and technically still part of that parent, but harder to find if the feds or whoever is looking. So the company is actually A&H Worldwide, and it is a global leader, this is off their website, known for imaginative design and innovative engineering solutions across a broad range of packaging products. So they claim this website, and you'll see they say face shields, distributing face shields. They claim to manufacture PPE, but the website, so I have Bitdefender on my computer so that there's, slightly less tracking. And so I pay for the premium service so that, when you go to a website, it tells you immediately, like, this is a phishing website, your information is not secure. So I go to the website, and it doesn't really work. First of all, Bitdefender, I had to turn off my Bitdefender to get into the site. And there's no way to some of these sites, you can click on it and it'll take you, how many do you want to order? But you can't do that on this site. There's only pictures. Anyways. And one more thing I wanted to mention that I skipped over. So with Catherine Barlow, Dr. Steen's UT, she's claiming to make N95 masks, infrared thermometers, hand sanitizers, gloves. That is, and her Shell investment in 3AI, you do not distribute sanitizers and gloves and gowns and N95. No, so that's a lie. And it's important to connect. The more you distribute, the more PPE products you give out, the more federal aid you get. Okay.
What?
Yes. So AAA Bath Fashions is an Indian exporter of artisan handcrafts and metal artwares. There was a Shell subsidiary in Hamden, okay, but the registration was canceled in 2014. So, interesting. AdGrab is the exciting interactive advertising platform that seamlessly connects a consumer smartphone with live television. Okay. No PPE. No PPE. Advanced Natural Group offers a wide range of consulting and sales services to help grow your brand. We partner with our clients from start to finish, focusing on their needs while producing new ideas, effective strategies, and high quality solutions. So these companies are helping Connecticut dive right into shadiness. You know, they're all about the marketing. Last company, Advantage Biologics, you know, we looked up word, doesn't exist. Just full on doesn't exist.
Wow.
Yes. Now, there's a comment there. Do you see that?
Yes, I do. Hold on a second. Let me just get to there.
Yeah.
Okay, I see that. Let me see if I can get it up on the screen. There we go. I'm looking at AA Holdings Limited.
Yes. So this is the database for ICIJ. It's called the Offshore Leaks Database. And I posted the site if you want to go in and look at this information. So AA&H LLC, it was dissolved. You know, it's interesting. Some of these say dissolved, but they, you know, then you go into the Securities and Exchange Commission website and they're not dissolved. So AAH, which was on the list that we just looked at, Shell subsidiary. And if you look on the left, where the Offshore Leaks Database, AAH Holdings. So that's where that's one of, and there's more AA&H, but that's where AA&H, the money was held. And they were named in the Panama Papers.
Wow.
Right in freaking Connecticut. You know? Unfreaking believable.
It is unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable what they're doing, and I just I'm absolutely blown away. So here we go. How much money has this all totaled up to that they're spending? Have you got a number on that?
Only the total. Okay. Oh, well, but you can go, you know, that's something I can do. Anyone can just go into Open Checkbook and look at the list of vendors. Same list.
So Open Checkbook, folks, if you guys aren't familiar with this, and we've talked about this before, where Victoria gets a lot of her financial information, when you start to follow the money, and this is all there. It's, you know, you can go and you can look for yourselves, because, I mean, we're just telling you what's out there, what's happening. You be the judge. You decide. Do you think this looks good to you? Does this make sense? I find it interesting that these media, PR relations company or whatever they are, how they're doing the hand sanitizer.
It's like, you know, when you think about how the commercials, like the amount of commercialing that has happened in Connecticut.
That's where the money is, in them commercials.
Yeah, they're getting their money's worth.
I don't have cable. I don't watch TV. I have a Roku box, so I never tap into like really what's going on. I do see commercials on like YouTube, but I don't ever have the broadcast stations on or any cable like that. But I've been hearing from folks that there is a tremendous amount of commercials all the time about the COVID pandemic, you know, about what they're doing, you know, all the wonderful things they're doing, or wearing masks or this or that, and it's constant. So
yes, wow. Unbelievable.
One day I'm gonna have to hang out and watch TV somewhere just to see it for myself.
It's nothing like it was like a month ago. Every commercial, every single one on TV was like in these dark or in these difficult times or some variation of, and yeah, so these companies who are helping them do that, they are getting their money's worth. Okay, next picture.
Let me get over here. Let me just get out of the comment. Okay, next picture. Here we go. What are we looking at here?
So Allied 100, HeartSmart, like I said.
These are more companies that have been listed.
Yes,
all who are making PPE. And then over here in these corners, this is what they're supplying, or what it says they're supplying.
This first company, Allied 100 and HeartSmart, they absolutely do distribute thermometers. They absolutely do. But it's interesting that Allied is the parent. A lot of wholly owned subsidiaries attached to it. And they were all up in the ICIJ website, in the Bahama Leaks, the Panama Papers, and the Paradise Papers. Interesting. I'm just going through this quickly because I know I get tangent-y, but American hand sanitizers does not exist, though the website is convincing. Convincing does not exist. The actual business, the true business address has been linked to 13 shell subsidiary entities, all operated and managed by this guy, Pasquale Computaro. So he's some kind of broker. And he signs off.
Hand sanitizer.
And they don't make so next company, they claim to distribute PPE and N95 masks. Company does not exist. Okay, excuse me, that one does exist. So, but they develop orthopedic care technology to prevent and cure occupational or sports injuries. It's a booming startup. No PPE at all. And Apollo Dynamics it's not a business registered in Connecticut. However, Apollo Corporation and many others, Apollo Corporation is the parent. Well, yes, it's in Connecticut. And they were named in the Panama Papers and the Paradise Papers. Interesting. Next company, Ardent Displays and Fixtures, is an award-winning, vertically integrated designer, manufacturer, and global distributor of pop displays are like, how you go to Walgreens and there's that, that glass or that plexi, whatever it is, so that you can't breathe on the employees. Yeah. So, retail fixtures, signage, and decor. Which, these are all investments. So next group, AWC Medical Group. There are many shell subsidiaries. If you go into ICIJ, there are many shell subsidiaries attached to it. So the website claims to distribute bandage, wound care supplies, but there's no way to order it online. You have to call. And which is the case for quite a few of these. In Connecticut, AWC LLC is a shell subsidiary. The address in Connecticut is registered to this beautiful boutique apartment complex because it's a real estate investment. And people can go read the rest of that, but they talk about, I'll just read, the boutique-style building located in the heart of the Upper East Side. A hidden gem, features beautiful mosaic tiled hallways. It's spacious with tremendous charm as well as wonderful storage space. So this was a real estate investment. Okay? Lame. So next one, Barker Specialty. Lot of Barkers, lot of shell subsidiaries named in the ICIJ Panama Papers and the Bahama Links. It's a promotional products supplier company. T-shirts, mugs, things, little knickknacks. Yeah. So, and do you see the comment there?
Yes, let me go over here. Hold on a second. I'm on it. Okay, we got some Panama, Switzerland. What are these places?
So these are, so remember how, we were just talking about the Apollo Corporation look at all these Apollo subsidiaries. On the left, they're telling you, and the list was like 40 long, but I just screenshotted. So Apollo Inc., the one at the top, right in Connecticut. You see on the right there?
Oh, here we go. Yep.
Apollo LLC, Farmington Clock Limited, because they changed the name, Apollo Limited, Apollo Corporation. Now it says that some Apollo Inc. you can't click on. It's like permanently there. They don't let you access that information, but it's right in the Panama Papers. Like, look at all these companies, and yeah, wow. Unbelievable. Yes.
Unbelievable is right. Oh my gosh. Wow. I'm like, hey, my head starts to spin with how they play this money game, and I think that's by design, where you just, all this money is constantly flying around. There's billions of dollars, millions of dollars just going here, going there, and yet you still hear that, we don't have enough PPE. So all of these companies are, they list that they're making all this PPE, but yet Connecticut is in short supply of PPE and doesn't even want to give the nursing homes the PPE. They want the nursing homes to pay for the PPE themselves, even though we, the taxpayers, are spending oodles upon oodles of taxpayer money. They're spending our money in these companies that have suspect activities going on. Maybe if they did provide some hand sanitizer, maybe. I mean, like, maybe they didn't at all. Maybe they're just making a commercial.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting that, like, why can't you get this stuff from Walgreens or wholesale district or CVS, or why aren't they contracting with
wholesalers?
A company?
Yeah, it would make sense. Like, we need hand sanitizers, so we're going to get it from, there's an interesting controversy about the hand sanitizers just trending on Twitter, that the FDA has listed 24 hand sanitizers as being loaded with, having chemicals that were harmful to human health. So there you have that. So why wouldn't they?
Us in every which way.
Every which way. So why not just contract with a hand sanitizer? There's plenty of them that have been making hand sanitizers. Why wouldn't you contract with them? And now all of a sudden, how is a media company all of a sudden now into hand sanitizers? And they do have a media budget. They're definitely spending money. We see publicly what they're doing, their media budget, but they're doing so much more than that, because that's how they're controlling the narrative, is through the media. I mean, this is just the truth.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Wow. Okay.
So next picture. I won't go through every single one of these. I know I'm trying to keep
going
on
for
time.
a little bit. So let's see. What do we got here? This is more of the companies and stuff.
More companies. Yeah, I won't read all of them, but Briscoe Corporation is, they make apparel. They've made millions of shirts over the past 20 years. Again, if people want to follow me, they can go in and read this. But in Connecticut, Briscoe LLC was, like, literally the one in Connecticut was named in both the Panama Papers and the Paradise Papers. Brookfield Stainless is a global supplier of high-quality stainless steel tubes, stainless steel pipes, and tubular products. Okay. Oh, this one's interesting. Bryant and Sullivan does not exist. Okay. It exists as Bryant and Sullivan Entertainment Enterprises. Okay. This organization it's in the entertainment business. No medical anything. Buenaventura bag and, it's Bonaventura, excuse me. Someone did a typo. They make luxury, high quality, genuine leather bags in Milan. They are a Milan-based company. Okay. Bonaventura Holdings, Bonaventura Investments, and the Bonaventura Foundation, which is charity corruption, huge problem across the U.S., particularly in Connecticut. Remember, we saw with the Rossi Foundation, all these. So they were named in the Paradise Papers. Beyond. So Kavu Management, I'll skip down to the last one. Kavu Group, many subsidiaries. Actually, Carroll Communication, they're a computer, voicemail, LAN, computer wiring technology group. Dozens of Shell subsidiaries. The Missouri Secretary of State expired one of these shells for fictitious naming. Okay. So they found some shells and they were like, Carol, goodbye. All right. So do you see the comment there?
Let me get on there. Hold on a second. Let me get back. Yeah. Yes, I do. So we're looking at Kavu.
Yes. So right in there. So you see that?
Yep.
Kavu Incorporated, Kavu Corporation, Kavu LLC. So on the left, Kavu Investment Corp, Kavu Management. So that's where they kept their money. That's where they keep their money, named in the Paradise Papers in Connecticut.
Well, yeah, because then we see over here that the stores.
Yeah.
I mean, just wow. Like, wow. Okay. Then what shall we do? On to the next one here?
Yes, I am going to read. So I won't read all of these. Okay. So Common Sense EMS definitely distributes face shields. They do. You can order them. I don't know how legit but you can do that. Interestingly, the Common Sense in Connecticut is a Shell subsidiary. And so Common Sense LLC is attached to Common Sense EMS because they share a parent. It is a real estate equity investment, beautiful 4,000 square foot home in Southbury. So they register a Common Sense out of their home. And so that is not Common Sense. Or the name of the company is not running. That's not the address for this company. They just register it as their house so that, let's say the state writes a check to Common Sense. It could be going right to the house because they share a parent. And then I'll skip down to Cosine International. So it's a Shell subsidiary. Okay. Register. Oh my God, this house. Beautiful. I looked at it online, pictures of it. 6,000 square feet in Avon. So when you go to the website, you log on and they have pictures of PPE. This is another one of those sites where my Bitdefender, when I had to turn it off, you can't click on anything. You can't click on any pictures. It's just a fake website. Yeah. So it's really, Sidus Global Supplies does not exist. There's so when you log on to the website, it's currently unavailable. Can't do anything with the website. It's come back soon, I think it said. Yeah.
Wow. I just, there they do. So, and it goes on and on. It's endless. How many pages of this? It's on and on and on. But where's the PPE?
And I just got through the G's. So, and this is the last page in terms of the list. And we'll just go through a couple things afterwards. So AVI, the top here, AVI SPL,
Is that on the next slide? Am I in the right place?
Yeah. So sorry.
So the next slide.
Yes.
Okay. Daddy's Choice I see here. AVI. Yeah, okay. Here we are. Let me pull this back up for you guys.
So AVI SPL, so that would be the parent. And its Connecticut subsidiaries were named in the Panama Papers, Offshore Leaks, and Paradise Papers. Interesting. Dermatic Laboratories, which is named twice, I don't know why that is, neither exist. They have a couple websites, they're in Chinese, okay? And one of their websites claims they manufacture anti-lice shampoo. That's it. No PPE, nothing. And 5 other companies are registered to George Coleman. Interesting. He's the contact for the PPE.
Wait, he's the contact?
Yeah.
Registered to a guy who's the contact for the PPE through the state of Connecticut?
Yes.
What?
Yes, but Dermatic Laboratories doesn't exist, period. And they do have a website. There's 3 websites. 2 are in Chinese. One of them doesn't work. Okay? And yes, so Devon Company, remember how Catherine Barlow, she was mean to us? You know, she reached out, and one of the companies she mentioned that I posted about, we discussed, was Devon Company. And it was named, like, many shell subsidiaries attached to Devon. Real estate investments, equity, stock. The ones in Connecticut were specifically named in the Paradise Paper. All of the research reports that the ICIJ has done, the Bahama Leaks, Paradise Papers, Offshore Leaks, they all listed Devon. Okay. And one of the Devon Inc. is a shell real estate investment registered to a beautiful beach house in Old Saybrook. Now, real estate investments with shells is much easier. You'll get a little group of investors, sometimes 2, sometimes 19, and they'll invest in a piece of property. Okay, sometimes it's an apartment complex, some beautiful place. Sometimes it's a very expensive house. And that doesn't mean they're necessarily living in it. Most times, yes, but they are going to, this little philandering group of investors will profit, will have any profits that come. So if people rent this beautiful beach, if families rent this beautiful, it's on an island in Old Saybrook, that little group, say the family invests or they make money off it, and so this group of investors who profit off whatever. So like if Devon makes profit, if they profit off the stock, like as the company profits, they put that money. It's terrible. So yeah, and the rest of these are, people can, I know we're almost out of time, but please go look. Oh, this last one is important. So EBP Supply Solutions expired in Connecticut. Okay, the registration has lapsed. It is not EBP Supply Solutions. It's the Eastern Bag and Paper Company, a foreign corporation and domestic stock entity. This is bananas. So EBP, the CEO, Meredith Rubin, serves on the state of Connecticut Governor's Task Force. Okay, State of Connecticut Governor's Commission to reorganize the DOT, which is phenomenally corrupt. State of Connecticut Search Committee for DOT Commissioner and for the Fed. Obviously, we know there's so much lies and so much thieving that is involved with the Fed, and the New England Advisory Committee. So
unbelievable! Wow! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
They could not get away with this stuff without the highest of the highs being involved. You can't just philander this money without government participation.
Yeah, I mean, well, so this is like where, what you were showing earlier in our conversation with this corruption is going back from that article to 2005, and then, the more recent article about just looking at the span of time and the amount of corruption. And I know, living in this state for quite many decades, okay, I've been here for a long time, that, when I first came here, it's just been getting progressively harder for the average person. And I'm trying to understand, when I first came to Connecticut, little white girl just got the income tax that I remember was all supposed to be temporary. So here the state of Connecticut gets this windfall of extra money through income tax, yet we're still like so broken compared to other states, like even just our neighbors, even in Massachusetts and New York. Their property is at a better value. Massachusetts especially is having had, before all the COVID stuff, I don't know how they're doing now, but before that they had, their economy was doing really well. People were doing better, whereas here in Connecticut, since 2008, we have not recovered. Our properties are very devalued.
They're stealing.
And they're stealing it. And they're stealing it. And one of the senators, I'm going to say her name because she said this in a public hearing, Alex Bergstein, said it was great that our property values were low because then, people in New York will come up and they'll buy up all these good properties at a sweet deal. This is why she's trying, like her high-speed rail station, her rail train. So, like, as you go further deeper into Connecticut, which normally wouldn't be that attractive to the wealthy New Yorker who's commuting. Oh, now maybe since they could get the high-speed train, which hasn't happened yet, folks. So that's a good thing. But she's bragging about this. She's bragging that our homes are devalued, and then some wealthy investor could come in, buy up our homes on the cheap, and hey, it's just, it's good stuff.
They live in a different world, like they're
insane. I'm shocked. But anyway, so
this last picture of the list, I'll just read one of them because it's really interesting. So do you see on the top Easy Brands?
Let me see. Yes, Easy Brands.
So we're going to skip down to GAC Consulting, LLC.
Yep.
Many subsidiaries attached to it, which again, you can go into the database and see yourself named in the offshore leaks and Paradise Papers. The interesting thing about this, it is an international consulting firm specializing in innovation, whatever that means. In Connecticut, GAC is a Shell subsidiary real estate investment in Wallingford. There are other ones. Now, the FBI put out this statement in 2014. The owner and president of GAC Consulting Group was sentenced today to 36 months in prison for his role in a scheme to defraud at least 17 charities and nonprofit organizations, costing them more than $750,000. I doubt it was that low. But yeah, and what? These groups, I mean, they were sued. He went to jail, and he's making PPE.
What? That doesn't make any. That makes no sense whatsoever. So this guy,
they're taking the money and investing it in these private firms to profit themselves. No PPE, and that's it. They don't care.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
unbelievable.
The owner and president of GAC Consulting Group. Do you hear that, guys? Sentenced to 36 months in prison for his role in a scheme to defraud.
Like, what do you even say about that?
So the state of Connecticut is paying this company whose CEO, president, who was in jail for 36 months. Or did he even serve the time is the question. It seems to me that what we have become, unfortunately, is there's rules and laws for some people, and then rules and laws for others that don't necessarily apply unless, maybe they piss a higher up off and then they get in trouble. I mean, this has got to shift. We have to shift this. So I don't want to be negative about it, but it's sometimes it's just like, I think people get desensitized to the fact that this is going on, and it just keeps going on and on and on. It's like this snowball of corruption that just, where is the end in sight? I don't want to, I don't know. Let's go ahead, go on here. What's this next?
So there is a comment there. We don't have to look at it, but that's all these vendors, right? An open checkbook. You
so
just
here
go
they
in
are. I
and-
pulled it up. Let me just pull this up. I pulled it up. Well, here they are. This is all an open checkbook.
Yes. So this is the first. So this is So July 1st, 2020, and forward is the new fiscal year. It's technically legally budgeted in the 2021 year. So anything before July 1st, so the money started coming in after Lamont's declaration. So this one says 25 million, but the comment below it is the 65 million that came in before July 1st. So right here, look at these philandering groups. Easy Buy, we were just looking, I didn't read that one, but on the list, it was an Easy subsidiary, EASI, right on there, Easy Buy. Now, they do little adjustments in the names because they can, and they do. Look at that, Sunrise Group.
Wow.
And Global Devon. Oh, look at the first one on the list, Devon Medical Products.
Wow.
Unbelievable. And then people can go in and look at the comment below. It's just more vendors. So, I mean.
And this is all the money that they're spending. This is all the money that they're spending on the PPE that we still have a shortage of. Just look at this. This is open checkbook. You can see this here. Here's the dates. This is fresh new stuff. Okay, anyone can go look on this themselves and look at the evidence that's there. This isn't something Victoria is making up. She's just showing you what she found when she started to follow the money. So you can ask the questions yourself in your own mind. What do you think about all this? About these shell companies, about being named in the Paradise Papers, about being named, just a criminal, defrauding people and going to jail for 36 months, yet the state of Connecticut still is buying stuff
Can
from
you
that
make us some PPE?
It's unbelievable. And the fact that
5 years ago,
it's outrageous. And one of the things though that's outrageous, we got David Lehman, okay, because we started off this conversation with the economic and community development and what they're doing, and David Lehman was responsible for crashing our economy in 2008. He is a big time CEO of I want to say it's Goldman and Sachs. I'm pretty sure that it is, or is it JP Morgan and Chase? I get those two confused sometimes, but you could just go look him up. It's no big secret. Now Lamont admitted it, and the thing that makes me insane is as he was appointing this guy, and they're bragging that, oh, he's not going to take a salary, he's doing this as a charity, my foot. He's making hand over fist with these underhand and philandering deals. Okay, so maybe he's not getting a salary. I don't think Lamont is technically taking a salary. Is that the case with him too? I'd have to look into that.
I don't know, but they all get paid on the side and stuff.
Yes. Yeah, so if they say, oh, I'm not taking a salary, the benefits and rewards for holding these positions of leadership, the salary is chump change. Okay, and it's good PR optics for us peasants. Oh, look at this kind man David Lehman is. He crashed our economy, never went to jail for it, and now he's going to, run the community and economic development here in the state of Connecticut.
And I think it's interesting how a lot more people know now that Trump doesn't take a salary, he works for free, but a lot more has come. It's much more widespread, people knowing that. And I think it's interesting that some of these Democrats, started saying that, after the word went around that Trump would never before.
It's become the thing to do now for, so they could, it's good PR. That's what it ends up becoming for them. They're, the corruption is miles long. Look at this. I'm going to show the slide again. This is Open Checkbook. You can go check out Open Checkbook. You can also, the searchable database, that's fascinating, where you can go and you can type in these different companies to look into all of the stuff that, there's so many different things. The Panama Papers, there's the Bahama something there that was in there as well. Paradise Papers.
Picture. I put it right there, and I put the link. All you have to do is click on, if someone wants to go in and, look at, you don't even have to follow me, but, do I know how to, but because all my posts are public. But yeah, so this is the ICIJ, this is their cover page, and then the Offshore Leaks database. So they tell you all about the Bahama leaks, the the offshore leaks, the Paradise Papers, the Panama Papers. There's been various, and they're still ongoing, those investigations. But yeah, they have more than 785,000 offshore entities. It's a lot in Connecticut, I'll tell you that.
A lot in Connecticut. Connecticut, guys, we are in the belly of the beast.
Yeah.
I mean, we are outside of, New York. We are the suburbs of New York City, for the highfalutin, king philanderers out there, right? This billionaire class of people.
OG philanderers.
The philanderers, right? So, and those philanderers are on Lamont's task force, which, by the way, is operating outside of public view. Representative Craig Fishbein did sue them for a federal Freedom of Information Act. I can't wait to see what he gets back. And when you do sue for Freedom of Information in Connecticut, otherwise known as FOIA, a lot of times they redact stuff.
Of course.
And then they've written laws most recently to to lessen the FOIA rules. Yes. This happened recently. Okay, so there's so much happening. I like to call it this: death by 1,000 legislative bills. Because you become, and legislators too, they're just overwhelmed with the amount of bills, with all the language in the bills. I think there should be a rule that you can only put so many bills up, that everybody absolutely has to read it.
Careful, if you go in to read these bills, the font is size, I swear to God, 4.
Yeah, they don't want us to they don't want a lot of the legislators to really read these bills. They make it near impossible. Then they put this fanfare around it and about it. Oh, it sounds good. And then when you go and look at the writing on the wall, so to speak, it's something that is egregious and many times corrupt and takes away from our very rights, the citizens of Connecticut. So I appreciate all the good work that you have been doing, researching. I can't run. We can't run. There's nowhere to run to. I mean, I think about it sometimes and it's heartbreaking. I have a home that I love. I've been here for a long time. And to think about packing up and leaving to another state, it's everywhere. But we are really the heart of the beast of corruption. And I think that's a really unfortunate place for us citizens of Connecticut to be. So what we all need to do, think about running for office. You can run for office. There are districts in the state of Connecticut right now that are running unopposed by really bad people, are running unopposed. They're terrible. They're voting in all this bad stuff, bad legislation, and nobody is running against them in certain areas. I can't list the districts for you, but there's a good chunk of it. Fortunately, the work of Connecticut Freedom Alliance got more people to run this year, so that was great. Glad that they were able to recruit some people. But seriously think, people, about running for office. You can do it, because that's one way to do it. Seriously, start to follow the Connecticut government. You can go to the CGA, am I getting that right? CGA.gov, which is the...
You have all the bills.
All the bills are listed there. You could sign up and you could get bill alerts. Then you want to plug in your senator and your representative, the governor, and the state, federal senators, plug them into your phone. Type in their phone. I have Governor Lamont in my phone. I know I don't have his personal number. Somebody thought, what are you calling Lamont personally? I'm like, no. I don't have that kind of connection. If I just, no.
And some people think it's I'm not going to understand the language. I'm not going to. But some of this is really freaking fascinating, and you can understand the language.
You can.
Just give it a try, and before you know it, you'll be clawing your way out of the rabbit hole, There's a lot there.
There's a lot there.
Next picture, we're almost done. Now, we don't need to go through this. I I just wanted to, and I also put the link. It talks about the Panama Papers, and this one was released in 2016.
Hold on a second. I lost here for a second.
Oh, sorry.
I lost you there for a second. It's not letting me back up. Hold on a second. Let me get right back in there. There we go. Whoops. Facebook is not cooperating with me today. Here we go. Sorry, guys. Where did it go? Oh. I can't. Oh, no. Here we go. Oh, I'm having just a little bit of trouble. Here we go.
It happens. But yeah, so the Panama Papers, super interesting stuff. This one, real groundbreaking because because there was movies on it. You know, they released all this information. Netflix picked it up. Netflix is now being sued for that, which is ridiculous. Yeah. And because anyways, so right on my Facebook, you click the link, go read any of this for yourself. And next picture. Sorry.
One second, it's freezing up on me. The
Yeah,
Facebook
no
is
problem.
okay. So Mammoth Global Partners. Are we still looking at lists here?
Actually, so we were just on the Panama Papers. You know, we don't even have to go back. The last page was talked about the Paradise Papers, and I put the link. You know, so we have the offshore leaks, the Bahama leaks, the Paradise Papers, and the
Okay.
Panama
Offshore
Papers.
leaks database. That's what we're looking for. Is that correct?
No, we're actually the last picture. It just says the Paradise Papers on there,
okay. Panama Papers exposing. There we go. Here we go.
Yeah. So
Sorry about
the
that.
Paradise Papers it was a huge investigation, 13.4 million leaked files from a combination of offshore service providers in the world's most secretive countries. And so when I say how on the list I talked, because I went in and entered every single company through the G's, and it just so happens they are in Connecticut. But the ICIJ, just because they find the name of the company doesn't mean they know where the company is. These shells are so hard to track. So someone leaks the files, like WikiLeaks or something like that, and they have the account names or the company names, but they don't know where they are necessarily. A lot of them are here. Yeah.
That's just wow. Look at
Yeah.
this. So you can go into this and you could hey guys, you want to be active, you want to help make change. There's all kinds of ways everybody can make change. Some people can run for office, some people can take on the role of the journalist. Become a citizen journalist. Start to dig, start to research, start to share what you find. This is all out there. That's the beauty right now, and we got to protect it and fight to protect that as much as we can. This is the last little thread of freedom, really, and that's important. And it turns me off so much that I see today now, with people writing freedom with FREEDUM, like people who want to be free, who want liberty, or they're somehow Looney Tune crazy and stupid. No, don't even. The schoolyard bully is now behind a keyboard. Okay, and lots of those people that are schoolyard bullies, they do jack squat, but sit around and cruise around and pick on people who start asking questions and demand their freedom and start saying, hey, wait a minute, this something out here isn't making sense. So it's a call to action for folks that are watching. Become active. That you could search this. I'm going to pull it back up again. That is absolutely fascinating. You can go in and search. Wow.
That's a really big deal to be named in a mega investigation. These companies in Connecticut not only named once, not twice, 4 times, named in all these offshore leaks. They are committing crimes, financial crimes, government, political crimes. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to come after the great-great-grandfather of the U.S. But this is criminal. And And you saw some of those were dissolved, but a lot of these companies are still active, which means it's ongoing. You know?
Yeah, no, this is very serious. Great work that you've done here. I really appreciate it. And that you found that you could go and you can investigate the Paradise Papers is
Yes.
just fascinating.
The last thing I'll say, if you have a Prime Video subscription, there's a great documentary on the Panama Papers, which preceded the Paradise Papers. But it really talks a lot about how shells work, how these offshore accounts were found. You know, it's super interesting. So
yeah, so I'm just going to show this slide one more time, guys. So follow the money.
Follow the money. You will always find something. You will find what you are looking for.
The Paradise Papers, Secrets of the Global Elite. That is such a perfect title. And when we think about the state of Connecticut and the fact that, and I say this all the time, Annie Huntress Lamont and Governor Ned Lamont. First of all, Ned Lamont is from the House of Morgan. Okay, that's the way it's listed when I was looking him up. That his grandfather is from the House of Morgan, Thomas Lamont. Lamont was a trust fund guy. He comes from money. All right, big money. Annie Huntress Lamont is the Midas touch golden venture capitalist woman. She is just a mega house. And she's making her money in the medical industry. And she's making her money in vaccinations. She's making her money in medical testing. She's making her money in all these shell things. She's making money off this crisis.
Not illicit drugs, but, you know.
Yeah, not like, no, she's not, you know, well, maybe opioids, but that's not illicit. That's the, you know, nobody wants to talk about that, right? Johnson & Johnson, who was found guilty for, you know, not properly letting people know about how addictive their opioids were to specifically Oklahoma, and they're further deep into it. But now they're making a vaccine. We should all celebrate that, right? Because we're going to trust them, right? And what about their baby powder? I'm just looking at Johnson & Johnson off the top of my head because they're popping up in my head. We can get into Pfizer too, since they got $1 billion to produce how many vaccines? And I didn't mean to go into the whole vaccine thing, but now it's just like
we got our Speaker of the House and his mother, Supreme Court Justice, making mad money off vaccines. And it's like, why is that allowed? You know?
Man. So that just, and she's gonna, of course, get it because Lamont's got, you know, he's got the House and they're.
She's in. That's it.
That's it. She's in. Because they just did that in a special session. They approved her.
Yeah.
Oh, see? Oh, man.
She's in. All sorts of
This is a bad news day in Connecticut. It's a bad news day in Connecticut. A legislation that went through that passed it passed fast and furious without proper public hearing, without the proper procedure, all because of COVID. This is a very sad day.
All those requirements, you know, the public doesn't need.
They don't want the public. I had a senator say that in a hearing, because they sit in the hearings, right? And she's talking. I'm in the banking committee hearing. I'm going to call her out again, Senator Alex Bergstein.
Nice.
She said it. She said it in a hearing that, the public quasi-partnerships, this is when she was pushing hard for tolls and her train, okay? That the people fought back and stopped it from happening. Fought back hard. Thank you to Patrick Sasser for leading that. So she is in there saying, well, with the public-private partnerships, then we don't have to worry about all of the, the public and the legislators. She said that. I wish I was recording her because she was saying it just in a public hearing to another legislator, and I'm sitting there and I'm hearing her, her talking about how much easier it is with the public-private partnerships and how we can do things behind closed doors without the public's involvement. So them being able to pass laws without us there, they like that. And that's a problem, Connecticut. That's a problem. That's a huge, huge, huge problem. Big time problem. Nothing good happened. They're patting themselves on the back right now. Nothing good has happened. Nothing's good. You don't pass legislation like that. This is outrageous and everybody should be pissed off as hell. Anyway, sorry. I've gone off on a tangent, but we've been going on for a while.
Thank you so much for doing what you do. I learned so much from you.
I learned so much from you.
And without you, without people like you, nobody would know.
I feel that way about you, Victoria. Thank you so much for digging up this stuff, and I look forward to our next show. We'll come back here and do it again. Maybe we'll stick with Wednesdays at 1. That could work out pretty good. Usually it's pretty quiet. We didn't have any bloopers with dogs barking, so that's a good thing. Thank you so much. So till we see you again, lots of stuff happening at the Capitol this weekend. There is a protest, so I will be there. I'm going to be filming. Also, real quick, Connecticut. So, Eversource, have you been getting your electricity bill? Have you noticed in your electricity bill is getting higher? Well, this Friday, I am going to a protest that's going to be in Berlin to protest Eversource. So I'm going to be there. I'm going to film it. I'm going to bring that to you guys live from the protest. I'm going there as a concerned citizen and also to record that and bring that information back to you. So I don't know how many people might know about that event that's happening. So that is this Friday. And I hope to see you guys there. I'll post something in the comments with more like details. The time, I don't know the time off the top of my head, but and then also on Sunday there is going to be another gathering. This is going to be a rally for free breathers, people who don't want to wear masks, who are standing up at the Capitol to redress our government. There's the science ain't settled, folks, and I've been around this merry-go-round constantly. And I'm not going to back down on it. I'm just absolutely not. So I look forward to being up at the Capitol as well on Sunday. And thank you again so much, Victoria, for all that you do. I appreciate you. And we'll be live.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So bye-bye, folks.